Welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we're breaking down all the goals scored in the Champions League. Not many goals to break down, but lots of interesting things to talk about today. Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain. Now, Paris Saint-Germain, this is one of the things that happen. If you're not in England, you wouldn't sort of know, but they don't really talk about any teams ever outside of the Premier League. They just don't know. They wouldn't know that this version of Paris Saint-Germain is the most balanced and prepared team for a very, very long time. Without the Neymars and the Messis and the Mbappes, this team is actually a football team. They play good football. They're really, really good on the ball. They create opportunities, and they're very hard to break down. So it was a bit of a shock listening to some of the pundits and some of the YouTubers talking, going, "Oh no, they're a good team. They're actually quite well to place to win the Champions League. They're solid." One of the things they really do lack, though, is a lot of big game experience. A lot of teams, to actually win the big games. But I'm going to show you a couple of the things that they were doing against Liverpool, because they tore Liverpool ragged. And if it wasn't for Alisson Becker's heroics and a little Harvey Elliott with a bit of a Darwin Núñez, they would have struggled today. Struggled. They did struggle all day. But I want you to notice this, okay? So this is one of the problems with the Liverpool system with their left and right backs. If you come against a proper winger, what is a proper winger? Well, they're going to beat you 1v1. Out of 3 attempts, they're going to beat you once. That's what the winger wants to do, okay? But he was doing that more often than not with Andy Robertson. So how does the winger really beat you? What is he looking to do to expose you? That's the space he's looking to expose. He's waiting for you to come and pressure him. So when the ball's played, if you start pressuring him when the ball is played, he's just going to put it past you. Doesn't have to beat you now. He can just put it past you and beat you for pace and cause a problem. That's what he ended up doing to Andy Robertson all day. Now, Liverpool really didn't, the way that their system is set up doesn't really, isn't conducive for that. So if you're looking at it this way, they've got 1, 2, 3 midfielders. What you actually have to do when you're playing a team against this is just invert the diamond, invert the pyramid. So you've got the bottom of the pyramid here, bump, 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 bump. You want to turn it the other way. So you've got 1, 2, and then 3 that way. So then this player here can always cover between your left and your right backs, because it's just too far ground for that to happen, and you can still have your main guy in the middle when one goes to cover on the other side. Now that does leave you exposed when you're trying to go forward, but then what you do is, instead of having a Jota so deep as he is, you have him high to keep the pressure in, and then you look to release into the midfielder and then go to your forward player. It's a very, very sort of different way than Liverpool currently play. But let's just move it on. Okay, so this is a perfect example. So you see, he just pokes it past Andy Robertson, but now the midfielder starting position, if you see, is too high. He's not coming from a position back here to win the ball where the ball is in front of him. He's having to make a curved run, so he's not in front of the player. He's coming from the side of the player, which is very, very different. So that means the player can just poke the ball again, because if he's coming from here and he pokes the ball, well, he can just turn around and get it there. He's not. He's coming from a completely different angle. So now he beats Robertson and Alexi McAllister straight away, bump, and away they go into the space looking for the cross. I'm just going to show you this miss because it's funny. It really is bad. It's a terrible miss. But also, I want you to have a little look at the Liverpool shape, because they do get pulled around, and you've not seen this all season. With under a bit of pressure, the Liverpool back four completely crumbles. But this is just hilarious. Watch this. Boom, boom. It's just funny. Sorry. It's just funny. All right, let's move it on, because I've got a couple of little bits to show you before we get to the Harvey Elliott goal, which was created by a Darwin Núñez. And I do love a Darwin Núñez, and this is the reason I do. I'm one of these people that like footballers that are underdogs. They've got all this talent and ability, and everybody starts slating them and saying, oh, they're rubbish. And they're still young kiddies. They're not even 24, 25 yet. They've got a lot more growth to go. And everybody hates on him, and I think he's brilliant. He's brilliant. Fun to watch, and you never know what he's going to do. Sent off, score a winner. You just don't know. I think he's great. But let's move it on. So we are going to show you the offside goal here as well. I just want to show you Liverpool's trying to get their sort of structure together and their movement. When the ball gets played back here, they know they need to get pressure on the ball. They know they need to get out as fast as they can. But you can see there's this little sort of hesitation, a little bit like this. There's sort of hesitation. How far do we go out? Do we stay in here? Do we mark these 3 players? Not quite sure. Until then, the ball goes out to here. Then they all start to jog a little bit more, and then they go again. You see, there's almost 3 incidences where they sort of stand a bit, stand a bit, and then they go this third time here, and then they start to push out, and they actually get the guy offside. And when I show you how close this offside is, like, yeah. And then they go, look, and they go again, and they're still not quite up on the 18-yard line, when it all ends up breaking down. I will show you the finish because out of I think it was like 24 shots on goal, this is the only one Alisson Becker let in. So yeah, just let's revel in it because apparently he can let in goals against Paris Saint-Germain, and it's if they take it from there and they're in an offside position. Other than that, apparently you've got no chance of beating this keeper. That's how tight the offside was. We do like the automated offside, let's be honest, because it's so much faster than two people drawing lines. And I don't know if you know this, they've actually admitted that they can't actually tell you in the Premier League if it's offside or not with those two little lines because it's not exactly what you think it is. You want to look into that little bit of a system. I'm going to probably do a video of it on the international break, but it's very, very dodgy. Now, here's the red card situation here. Now, I actually think, okay, so here's the problem. Personally, no, it's not a red card, but yes, it's a red card. So what does that mean, Cash? Let's talk that through. In the Champions League, they're never giving this, all right? In the Premier League, they're giving this all day long as a red card. And that's the misnomer of what people think. Because in their league or what the system they play under, they go, oh, that's a penalty or that's a red card. They're not giving that in the Champions League. I'm telling you right now, they are not giving you that as a penalty and a red card. But in the Premier League, they probably are. Is it outside the box? Is it a penalty or is it just a red card? Not sure, but that's where the contact kind of made there, bump. So it's very close if he's inside or outside, but they're just not giving that in the Champions League. And that's one of the problems, I think, where people struggle when they go up to the next level in actual football, and what they actually call and don't call in Europe is completely different than what they'd call in your domestic league. And when that transition happens, everyone's going, oh, yeah, but that's a foul. Yeah, in your league. Not in their league. Go watch South American football. Go have a watch a foul. Is a foul in that league? Completely different than what will be in the Premier League. And that's the differences in people's opinions. Really, this is what they're used to. That being a red card pushing the back, but not in the Champions League. I'm just going to do a couple of quick snapshots in this just to show you the pulling of players when you're tracking the runner and how Liverpool got pulled apart and Becker came to their rescue once again. Look, have a little snapshot. Okay, think of this. And watch how this gets pulled up. Next clip forward, you know that player that he was marking on the run? He was over there marking him. No, he ran back over here, did old Van Dijk. Completely left him unmarked just because he tried to get back into his shape, which is now completely non-existent. You can see how all the Liverpool players are out of shape because Van Dijk tracked that runner and then didn't stay with him and then ran back to the middle of the field. Instead of just going, I'm out of shape, I'm out of position, I've got to try to hold him on, I've got to try to stay with him now. Then Becker comes out and makes another worldie save. Here he is, making a worldie save, bump, and then he makes another one. But look at all of the Liverpool players here. I'm going to move it to the end of this little thing, but just show you where they end up. That's it. Okay, just before the shot is taken, you can see there's 4 Liverpool players. Yes, the goalkeeper's there. Unmarked player that ends up shooting and hits Slobosai here. But you can see how far all of the Liverpool players have been pulled around because Paris Saint-Germain have done such a good job. But you know what they couldn't do? Ball in the back of the net, which is the thing you're supposed to do. This is again that 2v1 overload on the left back or the right back. I could go in to break this down even further, but I'm just going to move on to the Harvey Elliott's goals because this was happening all game. I already showed you that once at the beginning with Andy Robinson. That's one mistake, but this is another one, very similar again. But they were doing this wrong all day, Liverpool, and that's because of the way their midfield was set up. But let's just move it on to the goal. Maybe I'll just show you another little Alisson Becker save, just because there were so many to choose from. Another worldie save. So Alisson Becker, after saving Liverpool at one end, releases on the other end. And I want you to watch Darwin Núñez learning. See, this is the difference. A year ago, he would have been offside. He would have stayed there, but not anymore. He's tracking back. And you can see there's this sort of motion that you do when you know you're offside and you come back and you check you're onside. And he does it. Look, watch this as we move forward. There he is. He does that. It's like when you're a kid and you're touching base, it's like, I'm safe. And now you can go when the ball's played, that's why he's going to become a better player. He's learning slowly, but he's learning and he's going to get there. Now, I don't know if this was the plan all along because Núñez, when he came on, just started bullying, was it Marquinhos? And he just didn't want any part of Darwin Núñez. Darwin he's a handful. He's a big, strong lad and he's going to fight with you. And I just don't think that he was really ready for that physicality. Just get bumbled. It's not even really much of a thing, and he's already fallen over onto the ground. Not really a challenge hard at all, not really anything strong, but doesn't have the physical strength to stay up and then actually win the challenge. And this is where Darwin Núñez actually comes into his own and does something that, this is why he's so unpredictable. I'm expecting him to shoot and try and chip the keeper. You like that? You go, yeah, that makes sense. That'd be something Núñez would do, or try to run over here onto his wrong foot and smash it over here, but then hit the corner flag. That's exactly what you'd expect him to do. What I didn't expect him to do was this. Just hold on to the ball and let 1, 2, 3, well, he's already on the ground, players run past him, which they do. They just start running past him, and the whole field starts to open up. And it looks like he's going to shoot. That's what it looks like to me. You see his body shape, body position. Have a little look at Donnarumma. You can see that he's already in, that Nunez is going to shoot. You can see what he's looking at, because yeah, that's what he's expect. Eyes on the ball, eyes on the ball. And you've got little Harvey Elliott coming in here, and no one is paying attention to him whatsoever. And what's more impressive with Darwin Nunez than doing that, he actually gets the weight of the pass perfect. So Harvey Elliott can concentrate on one thing and one thing only, getting it on target in the spot he wants. Well, two things, on target and in the spot he wants. Perfect pass. Harvey Elliott running in completely and utterly unchallenged, unmarked. Here's the other funny thing that happens. If that's Mo Salah, he probably would have had 2 players on him. But when they take him off and they put Harvey Elliott on, it's just, oh, well, we don't know. My marking assignment's gone. I'm not bothered because it's not Mo Salah. These things do happen all of the time. When you have a fantastic player in one position and you just take him off or you don't put him there, the person that was so geared up and so I'm going to try my hardest because it's X. Well, X isn't it? Ah, okay. And they just switch off completely. And you think, well, that doesn't happen in football. Yeah, it does quite often. And you can catch players out by that. Yeah, and that's what ends up happening. Well, it doesn't end up happening here. There's lots of other reasons, but that is a contributing factor. But then we get little Harvey Elliott stepping forward, just tapping it past Donnarumma. Alisson would have saved that 5 times over, and that's the difference in the game. 1 shot, 1 on target, 1 goal. 24 shots, loads on target, no goals. Liverpool make it through, and I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.